Hello, Urists. Welcome. I'm Toby, and I'm gonna play some Dwarf Fortress. I don't really have a goal in mind. I think, just in general. First of all, I gotta fix the audio a little bit. So let's put it down to like 20% there. That should be fine. Um, yeah, so I don't have a goal in mind for this series. What I was thinking is we just make some worlds, or make a world, start up a fortress, and then see where that takes us. Like I said, I just don't have anything planned for this. I just want to play one of my favorite games of all time. Started playing Dwarf Fortress back in, I would say 2006 when I was in high school, based off the boat murdered story. So you can fact check whether that came out in 2006 or not. I have no idea. Uh, let's look that up right now. Uh, Boat murdered. Let's see. The Let's Play archive. When is the initial? Does it have the date? I don't believe it has the date here. Uh, oh, it's in 2007. Yes, Boat Murdered. If you haven't looked it up, definitely look it up. It's a Dwarf Fortress classic. It's a succession style game, so a bunch of players got together. They took turns playing one fortress, and hell broke loose. So lots of fun stuff there. So we're gonna create a world together, and we'll see what happens here. Welcome to Dwarf Fortress. Prepare to guide your stout charges to a fortune in a world fraught with many perils. You'll begin by creating your world and watching the region's history unfold. Once this process is complete, you can prepare a group and send them out to seek wealth deep in the mountains. As you dig deeper and more citizens take up residence in your outpost, your doings will attract attention, both wanted and unwanted. Deal with challenges as they arise, and you might one day find your humble settlement has grown to become a mountain home, the center of your civilization. So yeah, we are. Maybe that'll be our goal. Maybe we will get to. I think it's barony status is the highest noble level you can reach, and then we'll see what we want to do then. I'm gonna set up a world. Just generally how I like it. We like large worlds. We can go to detailed mode, but I don't do. I don't mess with all of this. As you can see, there's just a lot of shit to uh, really mess around with. But so we'll go to basic options. We'll do it how I like to do it. Like I said, I've been playing this for years. I usually get a fortress pretty far along, and then I just lose interest and start playing something else and have to start over. So doing this for a YouTube series, I think it'll have a little more sticking power for a single fortress. Yeah, let's start. We're gonna do 100 years. I think number of civilizations medium is fine. Maximum number of sites medium also fine. The number of beasts I set to low. I don't want to deal with as many forgotten beasts, just in general, because a lot of the times the only way to deal with them is kind of the game breaky stuff, like a dwarven particle smasher, that sort of thing. Natural savagery. Now, to make up for the beast, I usually set my natural savagery to either high or very high. And honestly, for this series, let's start with very high. This first world we make, I don't know if we'll stick with it. We'll see, what we end up getting. Now, mineral currents, I like to set down to either frequent or sparse. Everywhere gives you a lot of minerals, which is nice, but I don't want to have things be super nice. Frequent is good. Frequent will get a lot of things. We'll have a nice steady supply of metals. I think even like everywhere is more in line with real world mineral development stuff, but that's a story for another day. I've also got mods because Steam Workshop is very good at having mods that are easier to handle. The only one we won't be installing is Slime Girls. That one I just downloaded because uh, you know, I saw it. It would be funny, and it's here. And I tried to do anything with it, and it wasn't really my speed, that mod. So we'll do these. I like cuter cavern moss. See-through smoothing designations also very helpful, just until they patch that into the full game. The dark depths and the dark floors. We also have detailed landscapes to make the outside a little more just detailed. Like that's really all it is. You add graphics to 384 vanilla environmental tiles, which were in the game but had no visuals. This covers 32 species of grasses, heathers, thistles, reeds, rushes, and bamboos, which I think this is just a very nice, very low impact sort of mod. Dog breeds. Dog breeds I hadn't even done because I haven't done anything with dogs yet. Only because we got another mod for creatures. We have that just to show our hotkey buttons. We have the Cobalt Civilization as so we can have some friendly kobolds just because it's nice. We also have perspective walls, reduced the Z fog, which I think might be redundant. No, okay, so Bourbon Dark Deaths is different. Okay. Uh, Smooth floors looks constructed. I tried that out and it doesn't really do much for me. We'll just smooth the floors. I don't mind the smooth floors very much. I do wish the engravings were a little different with the modded, or not the modded, the Steam release, but they're very fine. Um, so the additional race is Ixthed. Uh, I was very interested in trying this one out. Uh, they're all hostile. It adds like these like sprawling uh desert cities, and it's nice, but the only problem with it is it when it does the saves season to season, um, the world save takes forever, and we just don't like that. So we're not going to add Ixthids yet. Rounded hills because I like to round things out. The horned cave beetles, absolutely. We love the horned cave beetles. They lay eggs. They have fur in their beards, so you can trim it and get some thread. And they are war and hunting trainable. They also just make more sense thematically for dwarves to have. They come from underground. Uh, it is a little bugged in that I think it shows like I don't know. I'll have to check out other animals because I haven't really oops, doing the wrong one. I haven't checked out other animals to see how their like personality and stuff is set up. But when I looked at horned beetles in my testing fort, it had them set up kind of like dwarves, if that makes sense. We'll see if that'll show again. Maybe it was just because of my mod load order. We never know. All right, so we're starting world generation. We're loading all the mods. We're going to load everything else in. They're processing everything, preparing the graphics for everything, and we can begin world construction. We obviously don't do anything, but we see the forest spring up, forming the rivers and the lakes. I've noticed that in general, since the Steam release, I don't see a lot of rejected anymore. I remember early on when I had started playing, there's be times where I'd go through like 20 or 30 rejected maps. Now we see like there's some like haunted forests over here. We'll have to check these out. There's a volcano. Could be worth doing. And we see the history unfolding as well. This is running so much faster than it used to. I would wait hours on my shitty high school laptop while a Dwarf Fortress world was being made. And I would watch in awe as it like sprung up and then reset. I'm like, man, wish I didn't do that, but it was very cool to watch it happen. Uh, and then seeing these like abridged chronicles is very cool as well. You just see like some of the odd names. Captivated by Ores by Chucked Wound. We love it. Uh, the dwarf bird actually became the queen of the climatic citadel. I have a stuttering problem, so every once in a while I might stutter over words. Just ignore it. Just that's all my advice to you. Just ignore when I say something wrong, and I'll never actually have said something wrong. All right, hey, our world's done. So we can take a look at it now, but I honestly let's just get plain out going. We'll take a look at it in game. So for this first episode, we're gonna spend about the rest of our time uh, trying to find a good settling spot. And in the next episode, we will prepare to settle and start our fortress. We'll go through the first couple spring months. Uh, Early on, the game runs very quickly. We'll have to be pausing a lot, which is a little annoying because you don't see a lot of action going on, just for me personally. But pausing lets you have more control over things, and we're going to need it because they move fast in the beginning, these dwarves. Now, we have to pass a few weeks to get things ready. We're going to also pass some wings to me because I'm hungry and I would love some wings. And even just this update of it being these little calendars instead of how it used to be with Dwarf Fortress, I just love some of the aesthetic choices they've made. I do wish that when creatures wore like different clothing, you could tell what it was. Like if they're different cast, you can tell. We'll see that in game once we get there. I don't need a tutorial. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So this is the. Let's just check this out. I want to see where this volcano. It's in a great spot, honestly. We got a sinister forest, but like temperate grasslands. There's no water, and there's no aquifer. So I honestly, I don't think we can do this place. It would be very interesting if we did. I mean, here's the deal. Could we? Is 6 enough? 6 is not enough, unfortunately. If 6 had been enough, maybe we'd do a large map to get that volcano, but I don't think it's working. I don't work with volcanoes a lot. I generally tend to mostly do forges. There's another like good volcano here, but no water access. That's wild. You've only got goblins. There's a dwarf fortress here, but they don't want to talk to us, I guess. Very strange. I'm looking to see if there are any more volcanoes that are near forests, because I would be interested in trying a volcano fortress in this playthrough. Not this playthrough, this Let's Play, I should say. Because I don't think anybody's playing through Dwarf Fortress. There's not really a through to get to. I mean, I can't do this one. There's water everywhere, but, like, is this on the ocean? It's tundra. There's no trees, scarce vegetation. It's freezing all the time. And we have no enemies. So that's another thing we definitely look for. We want to have goblins or... Oh, I guess we don't have the Ix in this. So just goblins. We don't have goblins nearby. Wherever we start. But let's look at our starting civilizations. You can see we have kobolds as a playable species and dwarves. And one of the main things I look for is a good civilization name. I don't care very much for where they're located. I'll try to generally start around them, but you don't really have to. So the channels of splattering is in the haunted volcano area. I don't really want to do like equator stuff. This is gonna be warm, right? Yeah. This is a dry broadleaf forest though, so maybe this might actually be a good spot. Again though, there's no enemies nearby, so I don't really want to start with them. The uncertain silvers. What do you got? You got some elves nearby. Elves can become enemies. The main thing is just I just want to find. I saw it for a second there. You saw the flash of red too, didn't you? Where'd you go? I saw goblins on. Oh, goblins up in this area. Okay. So our origin civilization is here. We can be the first dwarves to settle this mountain range from our civilization. Not the first altogether, but the first from ours, at least. We've got a good water source and tree source here. Some shrublands as well. I don't like playing on warm maps. I'd rather it snow, just because I like the snow. But actually, I think this is a much better spot. What do we got for? We have a heavy aquifer. Okay, that does raise some concerns for this location. Let's go back down here. You have a light aquifer. A heavy aquifer isn't the end of the world. It will just lead to some more advanced dwarven engineering, which I think is a great challenge for us to run into. What's our elevation at? Oh. It's not bad. You can see that it lines up pretty much exactly what the mountains are shown here. But we see cliffs as well. And cliffs are always interesting to me. So what I'd like to do is try to get the cliffs into our embark zone. We'll shrink this back down. So let's look. It's so hard to like measure these back out. I think this is like perfect here, honestly. Okay. So we have like one wiggle room. You know what? We don't need water um at all from the river or the brook. And we don't want water out of Shutlard. What a name. What a terrible name for a brook. What we'll do is just do this 4x4 square. You've selected an area with heavy aquifer. It might be very difficult to obtain stone here. That's fine. You've selected a savage area. The wildlife might be dangerous here. Also, unfortunately, fine. Enemies normal. Economy normal. Let's see what custom settings do. Mega Beast can attack, yes. Were Beast can attack, annoying, but yes. Curious wilderness creatures can come to cause trouble, yes. Enemy, oh, these are like very in-depth options they put in here. I've generally always played the game, for lack of a better term, raw, without modifying any of this stuff, because I think it's just very well, I don't want to say well designed. It's well thought out. So these are my general animal starts. We're getting eggs. We need no hens. We're also getting thread and yarn from these, the beetles. So we don't need llamas. We really don't need sheep either, but I do want access to milk, and they're very cheap. Now, I do want to have some dogs. Let's do one male dog, 3 female dogs. That way they can have puppies. Very important. And then we'll go over some of the other things. This is, like I said, this is my custom start that really tailors the way that I play, but it's not necessarily the way that you have to play. There are people that take this much more seriously than I do, and I have mad respect for them. So for our horned cave beetles, we have enough for one male and one female. So that it's a breeding pair there. They lay eggs, and they hatch in clutches of like, I think it was like 3 to 6 was my general seeing, and the ones 3 to 6 is what I generally saw in the test fort I made. Now, if we drop some U, we can get one more female beetle. Now, that'll just lead to a heftier population boom. With goblins nearby, we will want to have these available for training. Now, these albino and longhorn beetles are variations that I believe are very rare, or are mutations. I don't know. I haven't really researched the mod that much. I'm very excited to learn. There's a possibility we can get into the caverns and capture more beetles as well. So we have our food and items all in here. We have an anvil just because you can save some points by not coming with an anvil and trading for it during your first trade. However, I've noticed that a lot of my first trades just don't have anvils anymore. So I've just been taking an anvil because I want to get started on metalworking pretty much as soon as possible. I've only got 1 woodcutter, so we need 1 battle axe. 2 miners, so we need 2 picks. And these, I believe, were the cheapest. Let's do weapons. Let's take a look at this. Because I believe I chose copper specifically because they were the cheapest. Digging implements. Here we go. Yes, so the copper picks are the cheapest ones. I would never get a steel pick. It's just you're dumping so many starting points. Why would you do it? So we're starting with 60 alcohol. The dwarves need it to function in their day-to-day lives, so we provide it. We've got 15 chopped crundle livers, 20 plump helmets. We have a fisher, but we don't have waters, so we're going to get rid of our fisher dwarf. And I believe the ranger also has fish cleaning. Let's do labor. Novice fish cleaner? No, drop that. You can be a novice cheesemaker and such if you like. I generally split my labor up. We'll get into this later, but I split my labor up into different like groups so that generally a group of dwarves will become proficient in a lot of different skills to buffer against the odd rage depression spirals that do happen. Um, Now for my ranger, you know what I think we will do is we'll go through. We are going to remove all of his like farmhand skills, which anything that's not directly planning, I call farmhand skills. We're going to remove those. We do want to keep you as an animal trainer because we are going into a zone where the natural savagery is high. We're going to make you a marks dwarf. We're going to make you very good at it. We also want you to be... you have some skills in here that will drop. Do the skills cost points anymore? I don't even know if they do. No, they don't. Okay. I believe they used to cost skills, but we will... The skills used to cost points, but we will simply do this. You'll do that. You'll be an armor user as well. We won't start him with any armor, which is going to make it dangerous. But as they get leather in, we'll make up a set of leather armor for him. To make him wear, I believe you'd have to make a squad, and we'll make him the captain of the guard. We'll get into that once we get to the fortress. And also for our miners, I don't know what to give our miners besides mining, honestly. There's so many skills, but they're basically going to be spending every second of their days mining out our fortress. So we really want them to be focused on that. So I think we'll just give them some... Let's make them our doctors as well. Just because I believe they'll do doctor stuff first for mining. Or we can at least... we can look into it. They get the free points anyways. Yeah, because our points haven't changed. I didn't even notice that. I'm glad I learned that today. So you're a woodcutter. What skills do you have besides that? You have woodcutter and carpenter. So you're just going to be proficient woodcutter, proficient carpenter. You know what? Drop that. We'll make you also wood crafting. That way he can get a little head start on making bolts. Okay, we have a peasant. We have the fisherman. You're an animal trainer now, technically, but that'll change. We have a stone worker. So stone carving is the new designation for smoothing. So I've had that guy just do that for a long time for no reason. So I want to start out with a proficient stone cutter. And you know what? We'll make use of our manager early on and set some low impact work orders. We'll go over those when we get into the game. So we have another one here. What do we want our other peasant to do? Should we... Honestly, with the savagery so high, let's do double marks dwarf. Armor user. What did we do for animal training? Skilled armor user? Okay. I'm not immediately going to assign any hunting animals to them, but they will have the option to train them. Honestly, I don't think we need much more points into training, though. So, what are we going to do here? Oh, we're bringing dogs, so we'll have hunting dogs. We don't need to bring crossbows or bolts with us. We'll make those on site. I believe we are done setting up on that. I mean, we got our seeds, we've got our anvil, we've got all of our starting things. We'll have plenty of meat from our hunting. And meat just generally doesn't spoil when it's in a stockpile, thankfully. So we'll make sure we have like our farmer set to haul foods as like the only hauling he'll do, just to make sure that we can get all of our food properly stored into the food pile. So what a name, Floor Slip. I mean, it's perfect. Dakostfôker. I'm probably pronouncing that completely wrong, but that's gonna be it. So it's done. It's our group name, the Treasury of Indignation, that live at Floor Slipper. It's gotta be it. Floor Slip, the Treasury of Indignation. The group symbol, I never really mess with that, so that's fine. And let's save this profile. Will be general start, no water. Save. Basically, having no water means we will not have fishermen until we get into the caverns. Go back. We're not done. Hold on. We're actually not done at all. What do I want to bring along? I should just bring more dogs, right? That way we do have more hunting animals and an extra cat. It's gonna be 2 male cats. We don't want a cat explosion. Or a cat explosion for you classic Dwarf Fortress folks. Alright, well thanks for joining me while we set up Floor Slip, Dakostfôker. What a good name. I'm very excited to get our horned beetles set up in a nice nesting prairie. And see how our double Marksdwarf setting does. He just still says Marksdwarf, so that's fine. But yeah, catch you next time. I have no idea how to end these things, so we'll see you in the next fortress.